Morning everybody, Jacob with Scooters Lawn Care, and today I want to talk about seasonal layoffs and kind of what we do and how we go about that. Before I get into it, I want to mention how I have been mentioning every time that we're trying to bring the most valuable information that we can about questions you guys ask, things I come up with throughout the day, things that I think would help, and just little tidbits along the way. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today there was a comment, actually yesterday there was a comment from Billy Goat. He said, I have a question on seasonal layoffs. I'm sure each state may vary. Have you ever had to lay off employees due to lack of work over the fall or winter? If so, what is the process? What does it cost as an employer? How does the rehire process work for the coming spring? And then he just mentioned maybe it'd be easier to make a video about this because that's kind of a lot. Anyway, it's very, very easy. So when you're actually paying on payroll and you're paying into unemployment, for when guys get laid off, you're already paying into that. So maybe it's your first season when you're having employees, if you're paying that whole year for them and then you lay off, it's going to raise you right into the next year. Basically, in this business, when you're in a seasonal business, you're going to pay the highest unemployment percentage that you can pay because there's always going to be people getting laid off. And yes, we have to that's the reason we want to do Florida and why it's such a big deal to us is we have to lay off people every year during the winter, at least 2 months. And here in Illinois, there's not a whole lot going on during that time. So my idea would be to try to get something that goes year round so we can have as many people, and even when we do that, it's gonna be our top people that don't get laid off. When you're starting out and you're a crew member, you're still gonna most likely get laid off during the slowest periods of the year. But like you said, what is the process? You can just tell them, it's simple. Basically, you can just say, hey, and at least in our state, it's very cut and dry. We're ready at the end of the season. Guys know it's coming. We're slowing down on work. And we just let them know that, hey, we're going to have to lay off for now. You can draw unemployment. That's no big deal at all. That's why we pay into this. So that's a benefit to you that you can have that to draw during the off season. And like I mentioned, that's what's going to happen. When you start getting people drawing unemployment, they are going to hike your rate to the maximum amount you can pay to cover that because you're always going to have people laid off. As far as what it costs the employer, I'm not sure what the max percentage is. We use QuickBooks for payroll. It's assisted and they do everything for us. They file our forms, they pay our taxes, they pay our unemployment, and it's all taken care of. And then as far as the rehire process come next spring, since they're seasonal, as long as you get some kind of commitment that they are wanting to stay on board and want to keep moving forward with you, it's not much of a rehire process. You just kind of start them back up. They can come off unemployment. Say if you get just a little amount of work coming in and you need a little bit of help, but you don't need them full-fledged again, I know that they can work a certain amount of hours and still draw their unemployment. So it's not too hard. You're going to have to go and ask in your state exactly how everything works. And that's just from what I've learned over the past few years when we have laid people off. And when people get fired, potentially there's times where I'll just say collect unemployment, either way to help them out. So because like I said, you're not going to pay more because we're already paying the highest amount anyway. I hope that has helped you guys. I hope it clears some stuff up. I'm not a professional on how unemployment works or the exact percents of things, but we deal with it every season. And so far, this has been our experience with it. It's been pretty easy to deal with, and it is a really nice thing for guys to get to draw, especially if you're trying to keep them with you. And our future business model is going to be to try to keep the most of our guys on full-time year-round. Everybody, Jacob Scooters Lawn Care, like and subscribe. Have a great day.